Hello, everybody, and welcome into another video here at the Hockey Writers YouTube channel. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and I'm here with Zach Martin here for this video. Zach, how's it going?
Oh, doing good, Matt. It's always good talking hockey with you, and just excited to talk about some crazy things that are going on right now. Just a little over a month into the season, but how are you doing?
Doing great. It's been an interesting first month of the season, which lots of surprises, which is what we're going to be talking about in this video. I mean, there's a ton. I had a little list before we started, and then you added even more, and I'm like, oh yeah, those were all surprises too.
Yeah.
So,
wait, there's more.
Lots of stuff to talk about on here, and we won't be talking for an hour, but we'll talk a bit about all this. I mean, each one of these could go on for a bit, but the biggest surprise, I think, and we'll start in the Western Conference with these, is the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, they're second in the Western Conference as we're recording this. One of the more exciting teams to start the season. Lots of the young guys are performing well. You've got everything going seemingly right. They're on a long winning streak. Are you really surprised with how the Ducks have come out? We'll talk about if it's sustainable later on, but that they've come out gangbusters to start the season and looking more like the Anaheim Ducks of the perennial playoff Anaheim Ducks rather than the rebuilders that they've been the last bunch of seasons.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look at it too, because you talk about the winning streak. You're on a 7-game heater right now.
Yeah,
you're 9-1 your last 10. You're 5-1 at home. Get this, Matt. They are a plus 17 goal differential. The next best in that division is plus 4 with Vegas. Everyone else is a minus on the goal differential. And the thing is, while Anaheim has played one more game than Vegas, they're at 23 points compared to the Vegas is 18. And they already have 11 wins on the season. Like, they are not just like ahead or in the lead. They are a decent ways out in a lead and in one of the most probable heaters. I don't think anyone really saw. Like you said, you got Becca Seneca, you got Leo Carlsson, you got Cutter Gauthier, Lucas Dostal in the net. Like, you're looking at Jackson Lacombe on the defense, and then Kreider, Trouba, all the veterans. Like I think there are a lot of people, even me, were kind of like, okay, I can maybe this team being a fringe playoff team or maybe a team going for a wild card. But the start they had of the season, this is absolutely like, okay, never saw this coming, but hey, we're not I don't think anyone's complaining about that. That's absolutely fantastic how they're starting their run right now. And doing it in those jerseys with that logo, you can't go wrong with that.
They should have changed it a lot sooner, maybe.
I know, right? Like, that's the secret. That's the secret sauce.
They've been really impressive, and I've said this, I believe it was last season, or that it's only a matter of time before this team starts to start hitting their potential, because there's so many young guys, there's so many talented guys that keep drafting, and guys that like the defense. They're such a deep defense core, young defense core, and they got that mix of veterans, like you mentioned too, which is. And they're not dead weight. I mean, they're big parts of this. Like Chris Kreider is putting up points like prime Rangers Kreider right now, and that's a big deal. You got guys on defense like Radko Gudas. He's been around a long time. He's their captain as well. So you've got, and then Joel Quenneville comes in as the head coach. Seems to be pushing all the right buttons right now. He's been through it with young teams in the past with the Blackhawks, so it's kind of drawing on that experience with a lot of these young talents. So, Seneca's in particular has been a real surprise of how much he's kind of come into the NHL and been really good. And they surprised everyone when they drafted him so high. So, he's doing it again.
Surprise him in the draft, surprise him in the regular season. I guess the Ducks are just full of surprises right now.
Yeah, for sure. So there's lots of stuff we can talk about with the Ducks, and we'll talk more about Seneca later on as well. Speaking of young teams, speaking of the Blackhawks, they're third in the Central Division, a team that's been one of the worst teams in the Western Conference for a number of years, of course, getting all the top draft picks and stuff like that. Now those guys are starting to become their leaders, Frank Nazar, Connor Bedard, in the top 5 in scoring right now. And they're getting great goaltending from Spencer Knight, which has been one of their Achilles heels lately too, right? So very surprising they're third in the Central too.
Yeah. Honestly, great pick to get Spencer Knight, give him that contract extension. He's been absolutely lights out. It's like you kind of knew whenever he got the opportunity, because I did get to see him a little bit in Charlotte when I was covering them in the American, when I was doing some American Hockey League coverage back in the day a little bit. I saw him play with the Checkers. He was good. It's just he just never was able to break through with the Panthers goaltending, and of course he was doing a lot of off ice stuff too, which it's. At least we're kind of seeing more players kind of speaking out more about that too. But you knew when he got the opportunity he was going to take it, and he's done that with Chicago. And like you said, third in the Central right now. They're only 6 back of the Colorado Avalanche, who have 25 points. But the thing is, Matt, plus 12 in goal differential. That's second best in the Central. Dallas, who's ahead of them by 2 points, is a -2. The Blackhawks are a plus 12. That's crazy. And of course, Colorado's a plus 22, but I mean, it's Colorado. Are we surprised? No, not really. But the Hawks are 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they're on a 3-game winning streak, and they're matching pace with the Stars, who've won 2 straight, and Colorado's won 3 straight. So, yeah, it's very surprising when the fact that you look at Winnipeg's on a losing streak, Utah's on a losing streak, and there's been some slow starts to the season for Minnesota, Nashville, and St. Louis. So the Blackhawks are right now off to a good start. Like I know you said, we'll talk more. Is it sustainable? But this is probably the best start the Hawks have had in the last few seasons. And you're like you said, you get Connor Bedard, Frank Nazar. You're looking at Colton Dock, and you're looking at all these other guys defensively too with Alex Vlasic. It's right now they're playing complete hockey right now, and it's very surprising the Hawks are where they're at right now. They're kind of taking advantage of losing streaks and slow starts, and they're I'm not saying you're going to win a division in November, but you are putting yourself into a good spot that even with maybe a losing streak down the road, if you build enough of that gap early, you can kind of sustain a 1-2 game losing streak and still kind of put yourself in that playoff picture, which everyone loves to compare it by American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Where are you at by American Thanksgiving is where you're looking at for the playoffs. And of course, as seasons go by, can't really use it as a measuring stick anymore because crazy runs have happened. But the Hawks are in a good spot right now.
Yeah. And again, veterans, Tyler Bertuzzi's been on a heater lately. Hat-trick against the Ducks. I think he scored another 2 in the next game.
Ryan Donato's been phenomenal for them too. It's crazy where you look at this, and Burakovsky as well. He's been a great pickup for the Hawks the last couple seasons. So
I mean, they've been good, and I mean, it's interesting to see what all these teams will be able to keep it going. But you see some of these young guys are just start coming into their own, and Nazar and Bedard. We know how good Bedard is. I mean, his rookie season was really good. And I mean, he's starting to come into maybe a bit into his own now. I mean, he's still really young, but now he's the guy that, I mean, everyone expected him to lead and be in that top scoring in the NHL as well. So, we'll see if it all keeps going, but very surprising they're in that mix because the first 2 teams we just talked about on our season preview shows, we were saying, they have no chance in this, in their division. At the bottom. We're looking a little it's foolish right now, but again,
it's still early. It's still early.
Well, it's not just us. I'm sure a lot of
it. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, another surprise. Edmonton Oilers, 7th in the Pacific. Flip it, because the Anaheim Ducks were supposed to be there. But the Oilers are there, and just coming off that 9-1 debacle against the Colorado Avalanche. Playing the Blue Jackets in about 15 minutes as we're recording. We'll see if they can bounce back from it. But this has been a thing throughout this whole beginning of the season. Connor McDavid's gone off to a slow start. Yes, he's in that top area. We're scoring for points, but he hasn't been really scoring goals very much. And their defensively, they haven't been that good. The goaltending's not been good. They have notoriously got off to slow starts, so maybe this isn't a surprise. But do you see maybe some other things in their game that may be a bit more surprising than just, they will turn it around, which they might not?
Yeah, like you said, and the thing is, Matt, what's been the Achilles heel for the Oilers the last few seasons, and for whatever reason they just will never address? It's the goaltending. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how many times you get to go through the Pickard, Skinner, whatever you experiment and be like, I will run it back again for a third time when that's it's like, well, we keep making the Cup final. Yeah, because you got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl shooting the lights out of the place. You got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Unfortunately, you're still without Zach Hyman. And then, you got, Bouchard. It's kind of, put himself into his own too. But yeah, I think outside of him defensively, they're not great. Like, you expect from Wallman. He's been okay. Darnell Nurse, not the greatest. And scoring wise, McDavid hasn't really scored a lot too, but across the board, it's not really been there for the Oilers. They're a -10 in the goal differential, Matt. They're 2-5-2 on the road. They're 4-3-3 in their last 10. Like, they are, like I said, the only team worse than them is Calgary. Like, Alberta is seeing some terrible hockey right now. A combined -29 in the goal differential. And it's just, like you said, we've seen notoriously slow starts. We saw a couple of years back where Edmonton was way in the back, and you thought, this team is never going to make the playoffs because they were just monumentally so far back. And then it was like 14, 15 in the row. They go on that insane run where it seems like they can never lose a game again. I think this is a little bit different. I think this is where, unless teams ahead of them really start falling apart, of course, like I said, there's so much hockey left, but I think this might be a little bit different compared to seasons past of, it's the Oilers on a slow start. They'll figure it out. Outside of Draisaitl and maybe Connor McDavid gets a little bit hot, who else on this roster is going to help them? I feel like everyone's in quicksand right now.
Yeah. And you're also looking like, Zach Hyman would be great when he comes back and get a boost, but how long is it going to take for him to kind of get back and up to speed? And can you wait for that? It is an interesting thing. I mean, you can't always, we talked about it on the Oilers News and Rumors with Brian, that, one time they won't turn it around. I mean, you can't always hope that's going to happen. Right. So
no, you really can't.
That they've got to start having good starts to seasons, because there's going to be a time, and it might be this season, where they don't turn it around, and then they're missing the playoffs. A team that should be there, and we'll see how that all goes. But lots of hockey to play, but not very good.
Well, the crazy thing too is, Matt, like, you're on a very time crunch with Connor McDavid. Yeah, you got him to the extension, but that's a very small extension. You have a season like this where you miss the playoffs. That might have been a move where you're like, I think Connor McDavid kind of saw something that no one else did. That's why he gave him such a short leash. So I guess we'll see. Yeah,
for sure. All right, let's shift to the East. And another surprising team is the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're third in the Metro. I know on our season preview for the Penguins, we were saying rebuild. They're down there. They're not going to be in the conversation for anything for playoffs, and lots of time to go. But they're looking like a team that's very good. I mean, they got a new head coach, Dan Muse, seems to have pushing all the right buttons, like we said with Quenneville with the Ducks. He seems to be doing the same with the Penguins. You got Crosby and Malkin looking like the Crosby and Malkin of 10 years ago. Crosby has looked that way. I don't know. He hasn't
it's Crosby.
I'm not really surprised he's doing it, but they're getting stuff from throughout their roster as well. Ben Kindle, a really surprising rookie, that's producing too. So what about the Penguins? I mean, they've been very impressive to start.
Yeah, and to be honest, man, I had them predicted like 8th in the Metro, because all you heard is, well, the Penguins are going to be sellers at the basically a free agency. Like, they weren't going to go get anyone. You're like, well, they did nothing this offseason.
Yeah.
And they're going to be sellers by the deadline. And now, like you said, now they're third in the Metro, 1 point behind the New Jersey and Carolina. And both of those teams have 2 games in hand on them, but they're 4-2-1 at home. They're 4-3-3 in their last 10. But they have a +9 goal differential. Like, it's crazy where in the Metro division, where everyone calls it the mid division, everyone's 500 or better. Everyone's at NHL 500 or better in that entire division. But the fact that it's a little bit clumped up at the bottom. But yeah, for Pittsburgh, I don't think anyone really saw, like you said, that outside of Sidney Crosby and, Evgeny Malkin, you got Letang showing up. You got all the young guys showing up too. Artur Sivos, who Matt is a really good goalie, and they've kind of figured out, because they had a goalie problem for a while. They might have figured out their goalie situation. So I know we'll talk about in the sustainability, but can they keep it up? Who knows? It'll be very interesting to see what happens with what they want to figure out with Kyle Dubas in the front office, what they want to do with this roster, because I don't think anyone, like, when you're called sellers in the offseason, you don't really think, okay, they're going to do something.
Yeah.
They are, and it's like, okay, well, we're in some uncharted territory with the Penguins here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to look at.
Well, I know, like, all the trade rumors with Crosby, is he going to go somewhere? They're going to trade him if they're not around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even anywhere. That conversation's gone. Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it going, because I had no inkling that they were going to be that good. And Shelov's a great goalie, but I mean, I didn't think he was going to be a really good starter, but they seem to have been able to now the platoon with Jari, and Jari's looking pretty good.
Where did that come from?
So
where did that come from? All of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, he figured it out too after a couple slow seasons, but
yeah, it's very interesting. Wow. It's a very good start for the Penguins for sure. Looking at another 3 teams that are, the Atlantic Division is not going the way it's supposed to go either. Canadians are leading the way. Bruins are in there after having such a bad season last year. You got the Senators. They made the playoffs, but they weren't in that Atlantic conversation. They made it as a wild card. It is very interesting in the Atlantic, and the Canadians have such a great young team. They're looking like they're in double digits and wins now. The Atlantic Division, is this how it's going to play out? I mean, these are 3 teams that, Bruins have been in this before, but I don't think anyone expected them to be there already, because everyone thought they weren't going to be very good this season either.
No, and the thing is with the Bruins, Matt, they're on a 6-game winning streak. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Their road record 3-4, at home 7-3. They were at one point. They were at 4-7 at one point, and now they're 10-7 because of the 6-game winning streak. And unfortunately, the Hurricanes being one of those teams, but they're a +1 in goal differential, and the division, like the Metro, is pretty close. I think the only team that's not over 500 in the East anymore is Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is 500 or better. But the Bruins came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected them to be where they're at after a slow start to the season where you're 4-7. Now you're 2 points behind Montreal. Of course, Montreal's got 2 games in hand, but you're in a pretty good spot. Granted, you got Tampa, who's really close. Detroit's really close. Toronto, who's in 6th, is only 3 points back you if you're Boston. But Ottawa's off to a good start too. They're 6-1-3 in their last 10, 1-2 straight, even with their -1 goal differential. Yeah, the Canadians. I thought the Canadians might be like a fringe team for like a wild card. I didn't expect them to go on a hot run where you're 6-2-2 in your last 10. You're 5-1-1 at home. Oh, and hey, you got 22 points and 10 wins. No big deal. So I don't think usually. What's the usual cast of characters, Matt? You got Toronto, Florida, Tampa. Those are your main 3. Now you're talking Canadians, Bruins, Senators. Wait, what year are we in? The Canadians are good. Boston's good. Wait, the Senators are looking like a good hockey team. Wait, are we talking like Erik Karlsson with the Senators type situation with this group? That's just like, okay. The Atlantic is wild right now in terms of just where they're at in terms of the top 3 than who's on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah. Did we go back in time? Because the Anaheim Ducks are in there. We didn't talk about the San Jose Sharks. They're actually looking pretty good as well. I mean, they're over 500. I mean, that's not something that the Sharks are usually at this point.
Yeah, like we might be in the hockey version of the Twilight Zone, Matt, where it's just like, wait, what is happening right now? Teams are not supposed to be good or good. Teams are supposed to be good or struggling, and like where are we? This is a paradigm we're in, Matt.
Yeah.
We're just this weird vortex of just hockey craziness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned the Maple Leafs and the Panthers there. Panthers, defending 2-time Stanley Cup champions, are not in the playoff picture right now. Same thing with the Maple Leafs. Well, Maple Leafs are kind of in there, but 6th and 7th in the Atlantic. The point separation, like you mentioned, isn't ridiculous. They could have 2 wins and this is all moot. They're back in there. I mean, there's lots of stuff to go, but both teams haven't looked like they're really good. I mean, they've had struggles. Panthers have dealt with big injuries. I mean, of course, Barkov out for the season and possibly complete the playoff run as well, unless they make it to the Cup final again. It's pretty interesting. Maybe they're treading water. I mean, they're not really bad. They're not really good. And then you got the Maple Leafs are kind of still struggling with a bit of their identity. Is this, maybe it's not a surprise that they're both in this position because of the circumstances, but I'm going to say about the Maple Leafs and Panthers, 2 contenders that are supposed to be in a playoff picture at this point.
Yeah, it's interesting because you talk about Barkov, Matthew Tkachuk's out for a bit too, so you're kind of relying on a lot of guys, and it's just defense is kind of, like you said, treading water. Goaltending is the goaltending situation. Is now you're trying to get, hopefully you got, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, all those guys to score goals. And I mean, obviously, like you said, right now, I mean, they're 7-7-1, they're 15 points. Like you're only really 3 back of Tampa, and you're only 4 back of Ottawa for third. So you're not completely out of it, but you're carrying a -6. You're great at home, but their road record 2-6. Florida cannot win on the road right now. Toronto 7-4-1 at home, but 1-3 on the road. And ever since they lost Chris Tanev, they have been letting shots galore go on their goaltending. Hildeby's getting lit up. Wall, Stolarz. Like right now, the defense has not been great for them. And I don't know if you saw the deserving win meter for the Hurricanes Maple Leafs game. At one point, it was like 6.6% that the Leafs were supposed to win 500 simulations because. And Steve Dingle put it perfectly. This is a game where they're up 4-2, where they didn't deserve to be up for it. Matt, in the third period alone for the Hurricanes Maple Leafs, the Hurricanes outshot Toronto 22-2 in the third period. And they were up 4-3 going into the third period. 2 shots and lost 5-4. We've seen slow starts from Toronto. Yeah, they've always figured it out, but it's like, you see Craig Berube, they're up 4-2. He's absolutely losing his mind on the bench. like there's already talks about him being on the hot seat 15 games into the season for the Maple Leafs. I'm like, how is he on the hot? It's not his fault. It's the guys you have on the team. Like, you got rid of Mitch Marner. Guess what? You lost a lot of points. You lost a lot of assists on that team. And you're relying on Max Domi as a center. You're, McMahon, McCabe on the defense. Morgan Riley's forgotten how to play defense. At this point, it's like it's just defense isn't there. Scoring, William Nylander is basically almost one man crewing this entire Maple Leafs team. He's trying to will them to wins right now. The Maple Leafs are in a weird spot, and I don't know what it's going to take. They can go through a different coach. Okay, have fun, I guess.
Yeah.
We know what the common denominator is, and it's not the head coach. And they're talking about even maybe Brad Treliving might be on the hot seat. He might be for sure the way his roster construction is, but it's just a weird thing for the Maple Leafs to be already like DEFCON, get rid of our coach already a month into the season.
That's Canadian teams for you. The Canucks they're 500 right now, and everyone's saying the Canucks should be rebuilding. So and they've been dealing with a ton of injuries to start the season. So that's more understandable. Toronto though, it's a bit like a Maple Leaf could break outside and it's like sky's falling. But yeah, they have struggled, and I mean they have really struggled without Mitch Marner. They haven't been able to replace him, and they didn't.
No.
I mean, obviously you can't replace a guy like that, but
Yeah.
they really didn't even get anyone remotely close to him, and they've been trying to
one for one.
push guys in. You know, Michelli's had chances with Matthews. You had Easton Cowan, who's I believe in the minors now. I mean,
Matthew Nyes. Yeah, you got
Matthew Nyes
you got
been pretty
Naylor,
good. I mean, but they're trying to find that, his wingman again, and not been successful.
Getting a 1-for-1 for Nick Waugh was not probably the move Toronto wanted to pull off. Like,
no.
All right, let's get one guy back, and it's like you could have gotten.
I mean, Marner was going to leave, and that was they didn't really have any leverage at all. I mean, they were trading his rights pretty much. So, all right, now we've alluded to it on a few times here, but who do you think which team the most? I mean, maybe one or two of them. You think is the most sustainable? I mean, again, very early, 1 month and 2 or 3 months down the road, the Ducks could be back into the basement of the Pacific. It can happen really quick. Who do you see it potentially being? They've turned a corner, and this is who they are.
That's tough because, like I said, you could look at Chicago maybe, but it's like, can Winnipeg and Utah stay this, inconsistent at 5-on-5 hockey? I don't really think so. I think they might figure it out. Chicago's kind of catching them. They're only 1 point ahead. So I don't know. I don't think Chicago, can Montreal, Boston, Ottawa, maybe, but I mean, you're still talking, a bunch of teams behind them that could figure out who Hatzler starts. Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's just gotten lucky, and the thing is they've played the most games out of everyone in the Metro. Like, they have a bunch of teams that have games in hand on them, so they could get past at some point. I would say maybe, if anyone, I think right now for me, it's just the Ducks. I think the only ones that right now could be a more sustainable team. I don't know if Chicago can keep it up. I don't know if Pittsburgh can keep it up too. And Boston, I think Boston surprised a lot of people, but can they keep up that run too? I'm not really sure. So if I had to pick one team that I have a good feeling about, I think it's the Ducks. All things considered, with that very struggling Pacific Division.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Ducks as well. They just look so good. I mean, and the young guys. I mean, I think it's not like, all of a sudden Leo Carlsson's going to get shut down like completely. He's been in the NHL before. This is not going to be something that everyone figures him out. I think this team is. It really reminds me of when the Ducks had Ryan Getzlaf, young Getzlaf and Perry, and then the veteran guys around them. I think they were a little bit further along as a team, but when they came in, I think I just have that vibe with Carlsson and Gauthier, is that Perry, Getzlaf, two young, really talented young guys coming in and, becoming the leaders offensively. And we really haven't talked about Mason McTavish, and he's been solid, kind of in the background there.
Yeah, this Ducks team is absolutely this Ducks team is absolutely loaded up, and Pierre Mrazek's found whatever he was missing for the last few years too. And like I said, you got Lucas Dostal, who I believe is a very underrated goalie in the NHL. I think he's top 15 right now. Given by the end of the season, if he keeps up, you're talking maybe top 10 for this guy for how good he is as a goaltender. I mean, like I said, I agree with you, man. I think if you're talking about one team that has a sustaining power and it's not fluking their way through a hot start, I think it's the Ducks.
Yeah. And it's not like they're beating bad teams and
they're beating everyone
that are
beating everybody
on their level. They're beating the Golden Knights. They're beating, and not just beating them, they're actually scoring a lot of goals against these teams too. So it's like they're looking great, and maybe it's teams coming in and underestimating them. That could be it. But I mean, a lot of these guys shouldn't be underestimating the Ducks right now, because they're a pretty good team. Lots of young talent and speed. And like you say, but the good goaltending, and that's something they really haven't had. Even with John Gibson, he hasn't really been healthy either, so that really hasn't helped. So the Ducks, I think, could be the one that could keep it going and make the Pacific Division a bit more competitive than it has been. Although it's not that competitive right now, with the top teams not performing as well as they should be, except maybe the Golden Knights. All right, on the other side, and we talked about some of the teams that have had slow starts, but who are you really the biggest surprising team that's been bad? I mean, I want to lean towards the Oilers because I thought they would come into the season looking, especially coming off a disappointing Stanley Cup final. You think that they'd want to come out like gangbusters and be a really good team to start, especially with all the slow starts they've had in the past. Who's been the most surprised by that's just flat out been looking like maybe a rebuilding team rather than the team they should be?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like I said, I know we kind of talked about Toronto and Florida. I mean, you're talking about, one of those teams is dealing with a bunch of injuries. Toronto is trying to find an identity for them. Tampa is kind of in the mix right now, so I'm not even saying them. Oh, could you say Winnipeg? But they're only 1 point back of Chicago for the third spot in the Central, so could you say that? I don't know either. I mean, they're still within striking distance. So is Utah. So, I mean, they're on losing streaks, but they're essentially right there. So, yeah, I think I would kind of agree with you. I think right now it's Edmonton. And I don't think there's really anyone else because, like I said, you have a couple of teams that are right like a point back out of the third spot in the Central. You have, two teams that are kind of, dealing with identity crisis and an injuries, but we both said it perfectly. They're two wins. They're wins away from being in the third spot in the Atlantic. So, yeah, of all the teams, I think it's Edmonton. It's just this is probably one of their worst starts. And like we both said earlier, this could be one where they maybe might not figure it out. But if there's, a team that could be a surprise that should be where everyone else thinks they should be, I think it's Edmonton.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they have the Flames that they're really bad.
Oh yeah, no, they're not that anything.
But it's just I think it's the performances all around, and how they've looked against really good teams. I mean, that Avalanche game, that's a measuring stick game. Like you shouldn't be blown out that bad against a team
at home.
At home is even worse. Where you should be on their level. If you come off Stanley Cup final appearances 2 times in a row, and you're going against a team that is arguably, I don't know if it's arguably, I think they are the Stanley Cup favorites right now. It's something that they should be looking a lot better. And it's been very surprising, I think, their start so far.
I think for them, I think if there's one team that we haven't mentioned that maybe kind of thought maybe they finally would have figured it out, but I think we keep saying this team almost every single year, Matt, it's the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not surprising that they're bad.
I guess it's not surprising that they're bad, but it's just kind of like you made trades, you have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Alex Laine as your goaltending. You still have Devin Levi in Rochester doing who knows what for like the 17th season in a row. I don't think it's really a surprise. It's more of just like you have guys there to get the job done. It's just how are you off to another bad start?
Yeah.
To another season.
You'd think that they would turn it, flip a switch at some point here. Like, we've been waiting for the Ducks to do it. They're doing it. You'd think that the Sabres would be able to do it at some point with all the young talent they've got.
14 years, Matt, without the playoffs. It's 14 years without the playoffs. And there's already talks of them. Fans have already been like, all right, well, the season's already done. And we're like 15 games into the season. And they're reacting like, well, there goes our chances. Like, but it's like you have T.H. Thompson. You got, Alex Tuck doing his thing. You got like all these guys. Darlene's, gone for personal reasons, but like you still got Owen Power. You still got all these guys, and it's like, and you got Lindy Ruff again. Like it's just let's bring the band back together. It's just crazy to me how Buffalo still can't figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can you do at this point, really? they got a lot of talent to trade, but what do you get? They're in a tough position. And that's, I don't know. I just hope that their young guys turn it around at some point and do it.
Maybe ask Alexander Mogilny to unretire from the Hockey Hall of Fame and lace it up for him real quick, or get LaFontaine, or I don't. It's just
know. It is an interesting thing with them. I don't know. Every season I say they're going to do it. They're going to turn it around this year. Well, not looking like it this season either. But
when I die, I want the Sabres to lower my casket so they can disappoint me one more time.
Right.
That's what it feels like if you're a Sabres fan. Oh man.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, though you say about a lot of their fans of other teams, complain about things. You're not a Sabres fan. At least you've seen playoffs. Some teams, the Canucks. I mean, we haven't. The Canucks haven't been the most successful. We've seen the playoffs in the last 10 years, multiple times.
Honestly, I think Utah might see the playoffs before Buffalo does, and they're the newest team in the league. So,
right?
Yeah,
we'll see. All right, we talked about a lot of teams. Now let's talk about some players. Biggest one is 3 guys that have coming off. They were drafted not that long ago. These 3 are top 5 in scoring. Leo Carlsson, second behind Nathan McKinnon. No surprise, he's leading the way. Former Hart Trophy winner. And you got Connor Bedard tied with him and second, and Celebrini very close behind him. So, are you surprised that these 3 are dominating the scoring race right now? Two guys that have had to lead rebuilding, actually all 3 had to be on the rebuilding teams, and they're all we've talked about. I mean, Sharks not so much, but the Ducks and Blackhawks we've talked about on this video being surprising teams. They're surprising teams because these guys have led the way. Are you surprised by these 3 here?
Yeah, honestly, I really am, because I mean, we all knew Connor Bedard was going to come on eventually, and everyone was kind of questioning, was he the actual next Connor McDavid? And I was like, well, it's kind of tough for a guy to come into the Blackhawks in the middle of a rebuild with a very bad team, and I think he's good, but no one's Connor McDavid. Like, let's be real for a hot second here. But I think Bedard is another future phenom of this league. I don't think he's going to hit that level, but he's going to be someone that's going to be a good superstar. And Carlsson, I mean, you have a couple of slow start seasons, but I mean, of course, for him, it's like he's coming to a Ducks team that's been rebuilding, but you kind of felt like that he was going to come eventually. Celebrini, everyone was talking about this guy out of Boston when he came out of college. It's just, he's going to a rebuilding Sharks team. How is he going to be? I thought they were going to be good. I wasn't thinking, we're talking top 5 in scoring good, where like you have to have Nathan McKinnon remind the young Bucks, hey, I know you're coming, but this is still my NHL. So yeah, I think it's surprising the fact that you're used to seeing like McDavid, Draisaitl, Kucherov, all those guys, and you have these 3 in the top 5. Well, last, who knows? But hey, we keep seeing these commercials of the golden era of the NHL. We are definitely in the golden era because of these 3 guys playing right now. Hey, sign me up for the next 10 plus years of this, where we're just seeing a bunch of young guys is absolutely lighting the lamp up and giving some of these older guys a what's what. So what a start for these 3.
Right. Leo Carlsson, I think, is the biggest surprise for me, because I didn't think he would emerge. I know, like, when he was drafted, I thought he was going to be a really good NHLer, but at this level of production, I didn't see it yet. I thought he was going to be a few more years, and they really practiced that load management type thing in his rookie season, where they were kind of sitting him at times. It was like, why is he sitting? He's playing pretty well. He wasn't playing as much, and when he was in the lineup, he wasn't getting a ton of minutes. They were kind of sheltering him. They're not sheltering him now, because he's one of their top 6, top line. He's been phenomenal. I mean, and of course, paired with Gauthier, they're we mentioned they are just 2 of the top guys in the NHL right now. And Gauthier, I think he's got 11 goals, I believe. And I mean, he's in that realm of, he's got 11. He's tied for third in goals. in the NHL right now. I mean, is Gauthier a bit of a surprise that he's in there too? Because, you know, a guy cast off, maybe not a cast off, but the Flyers had to trade him because he wanted out. Goes to the Ducks, and he's becoming what I think the Flyers were hoping he was going to be for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
And he's got 11 goals on pace for, well, Carlsson has 10. So, I mean, two of these guys on pace for some pretty good numbers right now. And I love the on pace numbers at this point because they're all
the on pace numbers. On pace numbers. I love when we're talking on pace. Like this guy's going to go and have like 100 and something points, and this guy's going to have like 50 goals. Yeah, it's crazy when you talk about, like you said, you're talking about Carlsson, Bedard, Celebrini. We're not even talking, like you said, Carlder Gauthier, who's on an absolute tear right now, because that's what, you know, a lot of people thought he was going to be, and you know, how is he going to be when he went over to the Ducks and, you know, being kind of a pariah in Philadelphia, and he's off to a great start. So yeah, I think it's just, you know, I'm not really surprised about Bedard and Celebrini because you knew it was going to happen eventually, but where Carlson's at, where Gauthier is at right now for the Ducks, I think that's why you see where the Ducks are at, because their young guys are kind of leading the way. It's almost like a younger, I put it in quotes, like a Korea Solani, where it's like these guys just come out of nowhere and just absolutely rolling everyone. I think it's kind of what you're looking at. Carlsson and Gauthier is your 2.0 Korea Solani, or like you said, Getzlaff Perry, where it's like these are the two young guys that are going to be paired together for a while. They're going to kind of take the Ducks into a new era, I think.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that's just that vibe for them. So, I mean, it's no surprise they're in that top, because, I mean, that's why their teams are there so far, because their young guys have kind of maybe figured it out. And, you know, paired with Celebrini, Will Smith is off to a great start for the Sharks as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a guy that maybe people were kind of worried about. I think it was last season, where he's like, he's not really doing much. He's kind of struggling. But again,
the whole Sharks team was young guys
to go, right?
Yeah, like you can't expect guys who are less than 21 to just automatically be good. Like, I'm sorry, no one's Sidney Crosby, no one's Connor McDavid. Like, it is tough to be 18, 19 years old and enter in the league and then automatically, all right, go be a 80, 90 point guy. Like, McDavid's rookie season was okay. It wasn't what a lot of people thought it was going to be. It took him a bit. Connor Bedard, everyone thought he was going to be scoring 90 points a season. Like, you're talking about 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids not playing junior hockey or playing in college. Like, all right, go against this 25-year-old, 30-year-old guy who's been in the league for 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Go score on him. Like, yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but hey, you know, it's good to see these guys are breaking out and kind of leading the way. So, like we talked about, welcome to the golden era of hockey. A lot of the young guys are pretty dang good.
Yeah.
These kids are all right.
Right. I think, I mean, the question about sustainability, I think, I mean, Bedard, of course, and Celebrini. I mean, Celebrini was really good last season too. I mean, it's just the Sharks around him weren't. And this season, it seems like the Sharks around him are starting to figure it out as well, with that mix of veterans that they've brought in. So it is an interesting thing that these guys have started to break out. It's not just them, it's the whole team around them that are starting to kind of do it as well. And that's what the Ducks is too. So it's, of course, never a one-man show. So the whole team has to start kind of figuring things out, and they started to, and these guys are leading the way. All right, let's finish with young guys. And that's the Calder Trophy race, which isn't the Ivan Demidov show, because, I mean, he's there. He is in the mix. But at the beginning of the season, on our Prospect Corner, our early Calder Trophy kind of predictions, we're saying Demidov, he's the guy, favorite. We had some other guys we were kind of talking about. But at this point, I mean, it's not his right now. I mean, Demidov has 4 goals. I mean, that's pretty good. He's 13 points. He leads the way in points amongst rookies right now. But you've got Matthew Schaefer. You got Beckett Seneca. You got Oliver Kapanen. You've got some other dark horses like Emmett Finney, who's off to a great start with the Red Wings, 7th-round pick. That's insane to me, how well he's started his NHL career. You got guys like Matthew Woods doing pretty well in Nashville. You got Artem Levshunov, a defenseman. Really, it's wide open. And I know you said with the Hurricanes, there's maybe a dark horse there. So it's really anyone's game at this point. I don't know if that was really expected coming in.
Yeah, because I think it was like there was a few places where it was like you're looking at Schaefer and Demidov are the only ones under +1. Like everyone else was +1,000. Those guys are like in the 200s. Like that's how a lot of people saw Schaefer and Demidov. It was like those were the two favorites. Everyone else, good luck. And like you said, now it's kind of wide open. And the dark horse, that we haven't really mentioned yet. Alexander Nikishin. Get this though. So he is first amongst rookies and second among all AHL skaters in plus-minus, +14 on the season. And get this too. He is tied for sixth among rookie scoring leaders with 8 points, 2 goals, and 6 assists. All of this, even strength. That is how good Alexander Nikishin is for the Hurricanes, and I don't think he's talked about enough. When you're talking about first among rookies and second in the whole entire NHL with a +14 in your first full season, you played 4 playoff games. This is your first full season in North America after being over in the KHL, and you're second in the league in plus-minus, and you're first for rookies. That says a lot. And we're talking about a guy on a Hurricanes defense that's been depleted of their 3 of their main starters a good 15 games into the season. So yeah, like you said, it's wide open. Like Schaefer, Demidov. You're talking about Beckett, Seneca, all these other guys you've mentioned. Alexander Nikishin for the Hurricanes. He's someone that's not talked about right now.
Yeah.
I think right now there is no guarantees. I think this could come down to, who can sustain, who can kind of, figure it out. And, maybe there is someone that no one thought of to be like, hey, not so fast, my friend. Don't forget about me type of thing. Right.
Schaefer has been, I don't think anyone really, maybe I expected him to make the NHL. But not be one of the top defensemen. I'd say one of the top defensemen, not just rookies, but in the NHL as being really good. He's got 11 points, which I'm ranking for points amongst defensemen. That is 10th. There's a bunch of guys tied for 6th. It's crazy. He is in that mix. When you look at NHL.com, the stats, his name is there. So that's pretty good. Cale Makar, of course, leads the way. Quinn Hughes is not on that list for some reason because he hasn't gotten off to that. Sam, he's been injured as well. But Schaefer has, I think, come in and been a bit more productive than maybe everyone expected coming into his rookie season as an 18-year-old. But he's been the Islanders' top defenseman. He's playing a ton of minutes. I think he's like something crazy.
I think it's almost close to 23 minutes. It's some unreal number where you're like, dude, how is this kid, I know he's quick and fast, but how is this kid sustaining all of this, playing almost 23 minutes a game on a not so great Islanders team? It's bonkers of where he's at right now. And the fact that they are 5th in the Metro, it's still insane to think about. And they got this kid just doing what he does on the blue line every night.
So, he's a guy that I think maybe it wasn't a surprise that he's in the discussion for a Calder, but I don't think he's closer to Demidov. And a lot of people didn't think, he might make the NHL, but might play the 10 games and then get sent back. That's not happening. He's obviously played more than 10 games at this point.
Yeah.
But he's got 5 goals already as well as a defenseman. So he's been very impressive. And one back of Beckett Seneca who leads the way with Oliver Kapanen with 6 goals. So, I think the Calder Trophy race, if you're betting on it right now, you're not guaranteed to say Demidov's winning it.
Pick a name so he might win it. Who knows?
You might be right.
It's crazy. It's just throw dart at the wall and figure it out at this point because
it's awesome. I like the really crazy Calder Trophy races because you can there's so many young guys that you can. Ben Kindle, I mentioned him briefly with the Penguins. He has 5 goals. And he was just drafted. So,
man, dude, some about these young guys in the NHL right now, they're making it very exciting. You're like, oh well, here you go. Well, you might be breaking a different mold here.
Yeah,
So.
lots of young talent in the NHL, and I mean, obviously, still a lot of older talent as well.
Of course,
Corey Perry. I mean, he's got what, 7 goals? Old guy.
Of course.
Right to go.
I guess Father Time hasn't really caught to Corey Perry yet, so I guess we'll see when that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if it will. It seems
True.
like Brad Marchand is doing pretty well at 38 as well. So
hey, Sidney Crosby's still doing Sidney Crosby things.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has never really
not a
slowed
full
down,
young
so.
man's game. There's some older guys still doing their thing.
There's
Alex
still some.
Ovechkin just had his
Just a few.
900th. Yeah. So
we have a good
it'll
mix. Yeah, we have a good mix. We're doing pretty good right now for the NHL.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thanks, Zach, for coming on. I had lots to talk about on this show, and reconvene the roundtable, which is just 2 people. I don't know if it's called really a roundtable, but we're around the table.
If the table is round, it's called round. We'll go with it. As long as the table looks round, we're fine.
So we'll get together again, talk about any of these surprises or 2 months down the road, or next month, see if any of these where we are here. But thanks, Zach, for coming on. Make sure checking out everything at thehockeywriters.com. Lots of great content over there for all the teams that we just talked about, writing teams, writing a lot about all these teams. So check all that out. Check the Substacks out. If you haven't subscribed to those, check all that. And then all of our other YouTube channel videos that we have for all the other news and rumors videos we've got out there, and then all the other stuff we've got. But until our next video, we'll see you next time.